round of applause for Oscar Sagastume. Come on. One more time for Oscar Sagastume. So I was 21 years old when I finally got my license, which means I took the bus or bummed rides forever. And I didn't get my license until I got a really hot girlfriend who's like, I'm not dating you until you get a car. All right. And so I wouldn't have these like weird like events happen because I'd do anything to get a ride because I really hated the bus. I don't know how many of you guys are on the buses in LA, so probably nobody. And I would do anything to get a bus. Bus stops are a weird place. I remember one time I was standing in front of a meat shop and a live horse came running out of the meat shop. And just ran. And I swear to God, it looked both ways before it crossed the street. It was the strangest thing. So I was standing at my bus stop in Old Town Pasadena waiting for my bus to come when all of a sudden this car pulls up. It's a white Nissan, and this guy jumps out with a baseball bat and starts yelling, "Oscar, I'm gonna fucking kill you, Oscar!" Now, it's not the first time I've been threatened, you know? So I'm more curious. I'm more curious at who this person is, you know? Because I ride public transportation and I went to public school, so hey, I've been threatened before. And I'm standing there and everyone in the bus is starting to freak out. And this is before cell phones, so no one's really, calling 911. Everyone's just kind of scattering away from me. And then I realized that it's my friend Edgar. Now, Edgar and I worked at Universal Studios together. We both worked in the merchandise shop and we both had basically the same job. The thing about Edgar is that he always had money. You know what I mean? He worked the same thing I did, but he had a car, he had an apartment, he had nice clothes, and he paid for everything that we went. And he also gave me a ride whenever we hung out, because I didn't have a car, and his sister lived in Pasadena. And so I hung out with him a lot. He just shaved his beard, so I didn't recognize him. So after calming everybody down, he's like, hey, get in the car, let me take you out to eat, and I'll drive you home. And I'm sitting there in the car looking at him and thinking to myself, like, this guy really knows what he's got going on for himself. I mean, he's making the same money I'm doing, but he's really managing his money well. And as I'm thinking this, he's talking about like how he's going to make more money. He's going like, we're going to rent a warehouse and we're going to throw a rave, and I want you to run security. Because I'm a big guy, even though I'm a pussy, guys. I'm really bad. And he's like, or we can start a jewelry business, and I could pay for you to go to a trade school, and you could make jewelry. And I'm thinking, I look over there and I think, I look and I say to him, I don't know what you got going on, but you look like you have it all together, buddy. And whatever it is you're doing, I want to be part of it. I want to be your right-hand man. That's going to be my future. My future is tied to your future. And he's like, that's what I wanted to hear. Then he took a long drag of a cigarette, and then we pulled into a parking spot. And by this time, we had driven to Little Armenia. He was Armenian. I'm not being racist. That's where he was at. And he pulled up into this like mini mall, right? And behind a dress shop, he says, look, I wasn't gonna bring you in, but you wanna be part of this, so grab the boxes under your seat and let's go. I'm like, all right, whatever. And I walk into this, like I said, dress shop, and it's a back room filled with smoke, and there's 3 guys in there. There's an older guy sitting behind a desk counting money, big stacks of money, and there are 2 younger guys in jogging suits with guns on their hip. And I'm thinking, what the hell did I walk into? I was just gonna go get a cup of noodles. Where the hell am I? And they start screaming. Everyone's yelling. They're yelling at me, right? And my friend Edgar is rapidly speaking in Armenian and petting me. Like, that's the only way to describe what he's doing. He's sort of petting me and saying comforting words to everybody. And then the old guy goes, okay, all right. So give me the box. I hand him the box. He opens it up. And out comes, and I went to public school, so I know they're drugs. Out come drugs. And I will later learn that how Edgar is making money is he's running heroin throughout the city. And I just went on my first heroin run. And I'm kind of baffled because I'm really not, I really don't know what to do. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say or what to do. When all of a sudden, as the older Armenian guy is kind of going through the drugs, he looks up and he says, the cigarette in his mouth, and he goes, hey, you're a funny fat man. And I'm like, I'm sorry, what? He said, you're a comedian. You're a funny fat man, right? Tell us a joke. Make us laugh, right? And I'm like, now, I don't know how many of you do comedy, but you've got to know your audience. And comedians always hate when you say tell us a joke because you're never ready. And I didn't know what to do. I blanked out. And the only thing that I could think of was the interrupting cow joke. You guys know the interrupting cow joke? It's a knock-knock joke. So I sat there in the drug den and said, knock, knock. And the old guy goes, what the fuck is knock, knock? Right, the young guys start laughing because they know it's a knock, knock joke, right? And I wish I could tell you that as soon as he said that, I came up with something clever, and I was like, played it off, and I wandered around, and we all did heroin together, you know? But instead, I just stared at him, and with more vigor, said, knock, knock. At this point, Edgar's on the ground crying, and he finally drags me out of the drug den, and I decide that from then on, I'm just gonna take the bus. Thank you.